Mom. Dad. Juliet. Newey. Hey everybody, and welcome back. It's another ASMR episode again on PanCake Friday.
ASMR episode.
We hope you all enjoyed the ASMR episode. It was actually, believe it or not, the top trending episode we've ever had.
Was it actually?
No.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't think so.
No, none of our top episodes are going to be anything that is an overnight success. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got a fun show ahead of us today. We got some things to talk about, a little drama with P. Diddy. And as you all know, with anything that happens, I love the conspiracy of it all, so we'll talk about that. I have some thought-provoking questions about contact with alien life. And we got some good old-fashioned buy and sell, and then you said you had some more...
Games. I have games.
Neve has games. All right. Well, why don't we start with just Neve? How was your week?
It was pretty shitty, to be
know.
honest. Well, me and Julia have both been sick the whole week. So I'm just recovering from that now. So if you hear some sniffs or like I sound a bit nasally, that would be why.
It's good you're having the ginger ciders.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
For the throat and stuff.
For the throat. It's the cider, though. As opposed to ginger tea, it's ginger cider. Yeah.
The better version.
The better, yeah. The more fun version, I'd say, yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry, I had to do that on purpose.
I'm feeling better now, but the whole week has just kind of been like a sick mess. And as a result of that, like, I'm not sure how many of our listeners will know this, but having a sick, like, pre-toddler is not super fun.
No. The worst is trying to put her to sleep, because just so people know, babies breathe through their nose. Is like, it's their, like, they just do that as much as possible. Like, obviously we're all supposed to, but we can breathe through our mouth, it's fine. But, like, when you put her a bottle in her mouth to go to sleep, she usually just starts sucking on, passes out right away. But the problem is she can't breathe through her nose, so she has to, like, drink her bottle and then, like, take her mouth off and go like and, like, try breathe, so she never actually gets to sleep. And then it makes it just infinitely harder because of that, because usually she's so easy to put to bed.
Yeah, but she has been for the past 2 days, so I'm hoping that's meaning she's getting better, and she doesn't have a fever anymore, so...
She's not daycaring tomorrow, is she?
She's daycare on Friday tomorrow.
Is she?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But she wasn't on Monday or Wednesday. But also, I didn't know this, when babies get sick around this age, they'll like throw tantrums. So I don't know if you've noticed, but like she's been throwing tantrums left, right, and center. Yeah. Apparently it gets like amplified because they're sick. They like don't feel like themselves.
Oh, they're probably frustrated.
Yeah. But holy.
Yeah.
They're not like super bad, to be fair.
Well, they're just cute, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm like I can't laugh because that will like encourage it, right? But it's actually quite funny.
Yeah.
She's like, and I'm just like, what, over what? Because I won't let you, I wouldn't let her drink my energy drink.
Yeah, I mean, like, even things like you like put her down and she just like loses her shit. And then I'm like, what do you want? And it's not like she wants me. She's just like upset that something changed.
She's just mad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that sucks, and you missed your infusion because of that, too.
Yeah, that was super lame.
Yeah. That was the misplay of the week.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's fair enough. I can't go be in a room with a ton of immunocompromised people while I'm running a fever.
Yeah, absolutely, but it still
sick,
sucks that
but
happens.
Yeah, it does suck, but I'm back in for next week, so...
Nice, yeah, and I guess... you got to have an extra week with your daughter where she doesn't have to spend it at daycare, that dreaded place where evil people go to leave their children and abandon them.
Juliet loves daycare.
Yeah, I know. She loves daycare. Do you love daycare?
No.
Why?
Because I want to spend all day every day with her.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because it makes sense. You want your kid to go to daycare and interact with the world.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I get Rapunzel now and that idea of like lock your kid in a high tower and never expose them to anything and just have them to yourself
Yeah, you can just like protect them that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like keep the innocence and like cuteness and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have to develop opinions different from your own. But yeah, she goes back tomorrow, so whatever.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Yeah, so I am getting a nose job.
Yeah.
On Monday.
On Monday.
It's official. I've done the anesthesiologist's consult. I went and had my doctor's consult, and we decided on Oprah nose. It's a successful nose, so I just went for it. What? Don't give me that look.
If you come back with an Oprah nose...
Well, like, it'll obviously still be white colored, but it'll be like the shape of Oprah's.
I will marry you just so I can divorce you. If you do that.
Hi, I'm Oprah. I'm successful.
You're not very good at Oprah
Here, do your best Oprah impression. I'm Oprah. Look under your seat. It's a free car. Fuck you. That's Oprah.
That was a terrible Oprah impression.
Okay, let's hear your Oprah.
I've actually never watched Oprah.
So how do you know mine was a bad impression?
It's like, no, it was.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
Okay, you're lucky that we don't have someone that can pull things up for you to see it, because you now can believe the lie that wasn't a great Oprah.
You just said it was a lie.
Wait. I didn't say it was a lie. You said it. I didn't say anything was a lie.
I just know it wasn't a good impression.
Whatever, Oprah hater. To all the Oprah fans on the pod, I'm sorry that you have to listen to the slander of your idol. Joach is a big Oprah guy.
Joach is a big Oprah fan.
He won't shut up about her, quite frankly.
Joach, give it a rest.
So yeah, when I was at my doctor's consult last week, I think I talked about it last week, how the guy was like super sketchy in terms of like...
Well, he was a doctor. He wasn't super sketchy.
No, he's a surgeon. Therefore, he is sketchy.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
So just recap in case people forgot. I went in last week, and he was like, in all honesty, he was just normal. Like, I don't want to. If he were to listen to this, you're all chill, dude. I'm not. I'm just messing.
My surgeon would listen.
Imagine somehow it's like we got one new listener. It's my surgeon.
I'll do some background research.
And he starts chirping, and all he hears is me chirping him on the pod.
And then he actually gives you the Oprah nose. So funny.
So last week when I went and saw him, he gave me a very like legalized answer. I was like, so do you think I need to get my nose worked on? Excuse me. And he said, you don't need to get, he said, all I provide is space. This surgery gives you space. If you think space is what your nose needs, it will help. And then I said, do you think my nose needs space? And he said, that's not for me to decide. I've seen people with more deviated septums that didn't get it, and I've seen people with less deviated that have got it. And then I just went quiet for a bit, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna have to accept that this guy's gonna give me, like, he has to give me the legal answer, right? So that's where I left, and I genuinely went from super excited to get this surgery to I was actually like really stressed out and debating if I shouldn't get it.
Yeah.
But obviously I said I was gonna get it, and then when I went in yesterday, dramatically different. Like, he was like all in on like, oh yeah, like, he puts it up and he's like, yeah, so definitely your left side is like way more plugged up, and like that's where the deviation is, but then it curves back the other way and has some thickening that will just like shave a little off and make it like so that's nice and straight again. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, thank God, because like the last time he literally made me be like,
was it the same dude?
Yeah.
Well, you probably because you like made a decision the second time. He didn't want to sway your decision.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, he legally can't say this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So he has to go with like, oh well, it provides space, but now I think that I've consented and said yes, and it's on me.
Yeah.
He can actually like talk about it more or something.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it was awesome, but I have to say, yet again, our medical system's just so dumb.
Yeah.
I get told that the only time I can see the surgeon before Monday when I'm going to have my surgery is Wednesday at 12:30 or 10 in the morning. Okay? Yep. So I was like, well, I work. And then the woman's like, well, 12:30, if you take that one, we usually run a little bit behind, so it'll be like fine for you. So I cancel my last treatment of the day. Yeah. Which made me end my day at 12:15. I go across the street to where this place is, and literally I walk in there, and it's an entire waiting room full of people still. Yeah. And I just sit down, I have my book, and I'm like, okay, like it's going to be whatever, half an hour or something. It literally I didn't get put into my room where, you know, I was like, they take you from the waiting room to your room, and then you have to wait for the doctor. Yeah. I didn't get put in that room till 2:15, which was 45 minutes after my frickin' appointment ended, my work ended. And so I literally canceled my last one.
And you could have done it.
And I could have done it. So I meant negative money on that because I lost money that day. Yeah. And it's just so dumb. Like the doctors, the medical system and the doctors have been given way too much power.
Well, I feel like that's just like all doctors everywhere though. They're like doctors that, like, it was the same in England. They're just always running behind. And like I kind of get why, because maybe sometimes you have a patient that needs like more attention than another patient or whatever, but I genuinely, like, I've been to doctors a lot in my lifetime, and I have been the first appointment of a day and they're still late. Yeah. Like, how is that even possible?
I don't know, like I just find like first off, I just got to caveat it by saying, like, there is really, like, first off, I do think genuinely most doctors are like trying their best and get bogged down. So I don't think it's a thing of like these lazy doctors aren't doing their job. Like I do agree with you when you say like they're actually like trying and it's a lot of busy work. So it's not as cut and dry as like 15 minutes gets it done. But it's more the fact that you get called, you get told you have to do this, and you have to bend your entire schedule, whatever you're doing, to make their appointment. And then on the other end of it, you then are like, I was there at 12:30 and I didn't get until 2:15. Like, that is such a significant amount of time between to say you're late. Like, I don't know, if I'm late for a massage, like I'm running behind, I'm like max 10 minutes behind, or so like that's like, you're like, okay, like that's 10 minutes behind. But if you were to say to me, Derek, you're an hour and 45 minutes behind, like that's astronomical. And I just find it so crazy how you can be that far behind and also get so much money. And I also do think my second visit to him, I don't think it was as necessary as they made it out to be.
Yeah, it probably just could have been a phone call.
I literally got given prescription, and then he gave me a piece of paper and he said, read over this, and I'll see you in a week. And then he showed me the things, but he didn't like do it like crazy. It was just like, so I'm going to put these in your nose, suture them in and cut them out. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And the whole thing lasted maybe 20 minutes, and he was nice and everything. But I that for him, he just got billed for like a whole bunch of money for doing consult. Yeah. And it was super, super, super like low key, very quick, just kind of like, was this necessary, or was this another chance for you to bill? And then I talked to the anesthesiologist, and she goes, when I was doing hers, and she goes, I was like, oh yeah, like he had me run over everything. And she goes, oh yeah, no, they do that at the hospital anyways. He just likes to do that as well for a secondary precaution. And I'm like, so then you definitely are getting an extra billing out of this.
Yeah. It's so weird because I've never had to, and I've, you know, again, I've had like a lot of procedures in my time, had to talk to an anesthesiologist beforehand. I've always talked to them on the day. Okay. And I've never had to, like, once you go and do your consult and you've established that you want to do it, like, why do you need a follow-up? Like, I've never had that, like, not even for my C-section.
Yeah, well, like, I don't know. I don't know if it was always like this, but I genuinely think COVID just made it so doctors, like, it's just so, first off, I think the phone consult for vast majority of, like, if you're actually need to see a doctor, like, the amount of things where people are like, I got a phone consult 3 times before I got in to see the doctor, and then the doctor right away knew something was wrong and they couldn't tell over the phone consult. It's just, I don't know. I just genuinely wouldn't be surprised if in the future we find out that, like, the medical system has been bleeding a lot of money via doctors. I think that what they're doing is a gray area.
Yeah.
I don't think it's illegal. I think it's this more like this gray area. And the example I'll use of what was like, oh, how could that be? Well, ICBC was running a $1.4 billion deficit, and it all came down to, like, lawyer fees and all these, like, dumb things that turned out were so unnecessary, but they ended up being there, and so they could camp them out. And I just think we're gonna find something out. Like, turns out doctors were getting an extra session in that was never needed, and it comes out to being hundreds of thousands or millions and millions of dollars of made income for them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just my thoughts and opinions, but it makes sense to me. It seems weird.
Yeah, I don't know about that kind of stuff. So
okay, well, let's move on to what would you do if you got this message? Okay. So now I want to preface this. Okay, pretend you are in charge of a radio signal. Okay, and your job is to broadcast out to the universe that we are here on planet Earth. Okay. Now imagine you use our sun. You use the power of our sun and you shoot radio waves into the sun. Okay. And via technology that we have, not now, I'm just saying this is a book. Okay. So this is all theoretical stuff. Okay. So you put this in, and then the sun projects out your radio signal at a massive amplitude magnification because it's the sun and it's energy. So you're now broadcasting to, like, a greater thing. So you shoot this out, okay, this massive radio signal, and you wait 8 years.
What does it say?
The rate basically,
what does my broadcast say?
Your broadcast is just saying we are people of Earth. We're human, and you have some, like, music. You have some coordinates for where we are, just like things that are basically just like messages of we are life. Okay, there's no, like, specifics, like, it's just kind of like we're out here, here's our signal. Okay, and then this is the message you receive back 8 years later. Do not answer, do not answer, do not answer. The world has received this world has received your message. I'm a pacifist in the world. It is the luck of your civilization that I am the first to receive your message. I am warning you, do not answer, do not answer, do not answer. There are tens of millions of stars in your direction. As long as you do not answer, this world will not be able to ascertain the source of your transmission. But if you do answer, the source will be located right away, your planet will be invaded, your world will be conquered. Do not answer, do not answer, do not answer. And you're the head of this whole project. So it's like you get the final say on what we do. What do you do?
Probably wouldn't answer.
You wouldn't answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you?
Well, at first I was like, why would you answer, right?
Yeah.
But then it kind of instantly makes you have the question of, but like, how can you trust that signal? Not in terms of, like, what if they're coming? What if they are coming? Like, what if, like, this signal isn't them warning you? What if this is just them putting you off guard, saying hide, and then, like, these things are coming for you? Okay? So I actually think...
But what good would answering do in that situation anyway if they're already coming for you?
I think I would answer it.
Why?
Because I think that it would be more beneficial to make contact with another, like expand what our being is, and contact other places as opposed to stay hidden in the stars. And I would be skeptical of the message in terms of it being they're gonna come conquer us.
Well, I mean, if they were gonna come conquer us or not, the message was pretty explicit in saying do not answer.
Interesting.
So I don't know, I just wouldn't mess with that shit.
You wouldn't?
No.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. The people in this book messed with it, and I just thought it was an interesting thing. I think their reasoning, I can't really fully explain out why they end up answering the message. But a lot of it has to do with the idea of, like, again, you and me aren't them, but their whole thing is like their thought is like, we gotta like explore human life, and like they become, like, by doing this they become super famous because you're the person that made contact with other civilizations and all that stuff.
So they value fame over the life of everyone on the planet.
Well, the way
Good to know.
No, but
Good
they're not.
to know.
They're not. They don't value fame. They value the science behind it all. Like I guess technically fame, but they're not like, I'll be the most famous person. They're like, they view it as like, I'll have furthered science by making contact. So I guess it is fame. Legacy, yeah. It's because I don't know. I guess you would be famous, but I like in this again. They're not like I'll be the most known person in the world. They'll be like, I'm the person that gets to do this for science, and I'm like etched into the history books.
Yeah, but what will that matter if your planet's conquered?
Well, this is what I'm interested about in this book. This whole book is basically the idea of us connecting with another race, but I think this book's gonna end before they actually meet them, because there's 3 books. Yeah, just so anyone wondering, the book I'm reading is called The 3-Body Problem.
It's also a series on Netflix.
Yes, it is. I want to watch it after I've done the book. It's really, I'd highly recommend it. It's a sci-fi novel, but the thing that's cool about it is it's all like they're like, when you're reading it, it's like I said, they're like learning, like they're like sending signals out into space and stuff. It's not like they're like flying around in spacecraft and like, yo, there's like Star Wars laser beams. It's like all like, you could see it actually happening. Yeah.
You just said like so many times in that.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Fuck, oh, well.
Like there are so many like stuff. It sounds like a good book though.
Yeah. Okay, and let's move on to something a little less gaudy. That's the word I'm going to use. I don't know if that's the right word.
You want to play a game?
Did you hear about P. Diddy?
Did you just completely ignore me?
I heard you say you want to play a game. What?
I was doing the Saw thing. I was like, do you want to play a game? You're just like, did you hear about P. Diddy? I was like, oh. Okay.
Well, I'd love to play a game.
Do you want to do P. Diddy first?
No.
Do you want to do the game?
Let's do the game, yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
cool.
I didn't realize you were doing the segue. I thought you were just being weird. You are weird. It's not uncommon for you to do weird things.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. So, you remember a few weeks ago when I did the, like, English test on you?
Yes.
So I've got another version of that today. And it's food theme. And I feel like you'll know some of these, but there's like 2 sections to it.
Okay.
So the first section is I have 3 things that are what I would call the foods, and then you have to
guess.
Tell me what they are. I think you'll like be pretty good at this one though. And then the second one is I'm gonna ask you what English people would call a food that you say here.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
Cool,
yeah. Okay, so first, what's a courgette?
You've said this to me before. God damn.
This isn't actually an English test. This is just a test to see how much Derek listens to what I say.
Well, at least I knew you've said this to me before. I'm so
I know
torn.
you talk to me. I just don't intake any of the information.
Let's cut this podcast short and go right to bed. No more talking. I want to say a courgette is a type of vegetable.
Yeah.
Is it like a type of potato?
No.
Is it a type of onion?
No.
Okay, I'm just at this point, I'm gonna be guessing if outside those ones I thought were.
Okay, a courgette is a zucchini.
Fuck.
I feel like you knew that.
No, I honestly thought I knew it was a vegetable, but I wasn't going zucchini.
Yeah, zucchini.
I would have gone squash before zucchini. Are squash and zucchini the same family?
I feel like zucchini is a type of squash.
I feel like zucchini and squash could have sex and still make babies.
Well,
They'd just be ugly.
I tell you what, I feel like a squash and a cucumber had sex and made a zucchini.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You feeling that vibe?
I mean, I'm not gonna look it up and just agree full-heartedly.
Okay. Second one on this ring, coriander.
Coriander is a seed, is it not? I know
But what would you call it here? It's a herb. Herb.
Herb?
It's a herb.
Is it pronounced herb or herb?
Herb.
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 There's a H. Herb.
I swear coriander was, like, I thought it was just a spice. Like, it was always in either a seed or a powder.
But what do you call it here?
Cloves? I don't know. I swear we just call it coriander.
You call it cilantro. It's the same thing. Coriander, cilantro is the same thing.
You guys can't see this, but my jaw dropped when I heard
It
that.
did,
that was
actually.
crazy. What? Really?
No.
Coriander is...
Cilantro.
Why would we call it cilantro? That sounds so dumb now after hearing coriander.
I don't know.
Because, like...
I mean, a lot of things that...
So do English people call it coriander, or is it just North America we call it cilantro?
North America calls it cilantro.
Everywhere, Italy call it coriandro.
Coriander. Yeah.
Coriander.
I don't know what Italy calls it, actually. I can't speak for Italians, but...
I'll speak for the
in
Italians.
England,
we call it that there. Really. Trust me on this one.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure you know this one. Aubergine.
It's a cheese.
It's not a cheese.
It's an aubergine cheese?
No.
Yeah.
I've made this for us recently.
Is that when you sneeze on a waffle?
No. You're not going to get this one either. Eggplant.
Those were really good.
Yeah, they were in our stuffed peppers today, too.
The eggplant was?
Yeah.
Or, sorry, the aubergines were?
The aubergine.
Weird. Yeah, that's a crazy one. What was that again? It was like eggplant fries with garlic and panko?
Yeah, I did like eggplant fries in the air fryer with a bunch of seasoning, panko and parmesan.
Neve is just, in case anyone was under the impression Neve wasn't a great cook, she's an incredible cook. And I think the thing that you've gotten better at with time is your ability to make things out of nothing. Like, it's not that you couldn't always. Like, you've always just kind of been able to. It's just, it seems like you're making meals. Like, for example, that curry yesterday. Yeah. You threw that together, you said. Yeah. That, to me, if you had told me you had, like, bought all the ingredients and prepared that, I would have assumed that. Yeah. And I feel like you're getting better at doing that. Yeah. Yeah, I always laugh. I have quite a few clients that, like, I'll be like, they'll be like, how does, like, things, like, I don't know, like, how do you do, for example, I do the, like, cleaning of the dishes. How do you split the chores? Yeah, well, like, the cleaning of the dishes and stuff as opposed to you cook, and I'm always like, oh, yeah, Neve just loves to cook. And I do love to cook. So it's like, whereas I think some like, partners, like, the person cooks because they do, but they don't love to, and I think that shows when you cook.
Really enjoy cooking. I think, honestly, like, cooking is kind of not like a love language, but it's like a show of appreciation. Like, it makes me really happy, like, when you come home from a long day and you just have, like, a good meal waiting for you. I just think that's, like, a really nice thing you can do for your partner. Do you know what I mean?
It's a love language, because like, what is a love language? It's like anything, like, to you as a person that you, like, put your love into to show to someone, right?
So I think that's what it is. It's just to show that, like, you've come home from a hard day of work, and I'm not just, like, like grabbing something out of the freezer. Like I want to
Well,
make you something like good and healthy
love it,
and
it
nutritious.
feels so good.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think that is so crazy about eating real, like, home cooked nutritious meals.
Yeah.
Is you can easily eat shit McDonald's all the time, and you'll go through a period where you eat like just out and all this like really bad food where you'll notice it at first, you'll feel sluggish and off, but then you just kind of normalize it and forget.
Because you're normal.
But then once you get good food in you, it's like so noticeable. Like what we ate tonight, like my stomach it's just happy and content.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm
Well,
so bloated.
it was balanced and like super good for you. All that was in that.
Yeah, what was dinner?
Okay, I'll tell you what was in that. So I made stuffed peppers. All that was in that was couscous.
Mm-hmm. That was really good.
Yeah, I like that. It's called pearl couscous, and it's like a little bit bigger than normal couscous.
Yeah, because couscous is more like dry or ricey looking than normally.
It's more grainy, yeah.
Yeah.
But those are like the bigger. They almost look like lentils, but they're not the same consistency. So yeah, it was pearl barley couscous, and then beef pork mix. Like ground beef pork, aubergines / eggplants, carrots stuffed in a pepper, cheese on top.
How long do you bake it for?
So what I did was I cooked like the meat and veggies first, like a stew kind of style, like a chili. Yeah. And then I roasted the peppers like face down, like the side you're gonna stuff down, so that they get that nice like roasted,
the crispy,
like blackened on the top, and then flip them over, put the filling in, sprinkle some cheese on top, and like just stick them in the oven for like 5 minutes, because everything's already cooked.
Nice.
So you're just kind of warming it up. But then what I like to do is I like to switch it on to grill mode or broil for like 2 minutes just to get that cheese.
Yeah, that is, I always love that when you broil something.
Mm-hmm.
One thing with broil is intense. Like it goes from, oh yeah, it's just starting to crisp up, and then you walk out of the room and you come back and it's burnt.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
Okay, and now what is the other part of this?
Okay, so the other part of this is it's more of a conversation.
Okay.
But so this is like, I'm gonna say the North American versions for this, and you gotta tell me what we call them in England.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So what would we call a soda?
Soft drink.
Mm-mm.
A pop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pop. Okay, you got that one. I thought you'd get that pretty good.
One.
Okay, so this one's more of a conversation. So candy.
Pastels.
Yeah.
Bonbons. No, that's French.
Okay, so this one is actually quite hard because I feel like here candy encompasses like a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like you're like
sweets.
Yeah, that's what we say. We say sweets or sweeties.
Yeah, sweets.
And like chocolate bars. Because here, like, you say candy, and candy can mean anything from, like, gummy sweets to, like, chocolate to, like the little, like, bags of, like, M&Ms or something. You know, it could be anything.
Right. Well, yeah, because, like, I'd say, like, okay, there's, like, to me, there's candy, which is everything, but also at the same time, I feel like chocolate, as much as it's candy to me, I also consider it chocolate too. Like when I say candy, I'm never referring to chocolate, although I think chocolate is a candy. But like, if in terms of candy being like sugary sweets, but I do think there's like candy to me would be like Starburst, Skittles, gummies.
Yeah.
But you
guys say like candy bars.
Yes. Okay.
Which is a chocolate bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, one of the, I guess it's both though. Like I agree with you, but we do say candy bar and chocolate bar. It's not like we don't say chocolate bar, right?
Okay.
But you are right. We do say a wider. So what? Okay, so you said there's chocolate bars, there's candy, and then what was the other one you said? This is the English one.
No.
There's sweets.
We call it sweets.
Sweets, chocolate bar, and what was the other one?
No, that was.
I thought there was your like favorite candies, like a pastilli or something.
Pastels. Like fruit pastels. That would be a sweet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Fruit pastels are like a brand.
One thing I noticed when we were in England, there was a lot of carts that sold fudge.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere.
They're nuts for fudge.
And the fudge is like every flavor fudge. Like obviously the ones you would think of. I mean,
we went into the fudge shop in Wells, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't referencing Wells. I was referencing Birmingham and when we were in London, when we go into like cities, there's just carts of fudge, and I wish I got some just because like I don't know, fudge is good, but I also thought it was crazy. Like there was like every flavor. Like I can't even. The only one that stuck out I remember was there was a Skittles flavored fudge, but that just gives you an idea of how crazy the fudges were. They were just like everything.
See, I'm not super into fudge. Like I'm not like it's not for me.
Me
but
either.
I'll tell you what I fucking love: English like toffee.
What is? I mean, I know what toffee, but what's English toffee?
Like, well, I just don't feel like you really have toffee. Like,
are you talking like
we have toffee?
What? Okay, so I have two thoughts on toffee. One of them, it's like kind of like it's really chewy, but
hella chewy.
Or the other one is it's like rock hard and you chew it and eventually becomes chewy.
Yeah.
Okay, we have. Do you know Macintosh?
No.
It's not in England.
I'm
gonna try and find a Macintosh because I think if you're it's the best toffee. Not in terms of like it's the best, but like when you think of like a traditional toffee that might be in England, I'll find it for you.
We call them like toffee and then like hard toffee.
Yeah. Okay.
Because toffee like that I like is like Quality Streets.
Yes.
The gold pennies. Yeah. That is like toffee.
Yeah, okay, that's...
And inside a Curly Whirly, that's toffee.
Okay, Macintosh has the thing you're talking about, then I'll find some for you. Yeah, I don't think I could eat toffee anymore, else my teeth will literally...
I mean, it's pure sugar.
But also, I think if I bit down on hard toffee and opened my mouth, it'd rip my teeth out.
Yeah, probably.
I have the worst teeth in the world. I have
sensitive teeth, yeah.
Well, they're not, you're sensitive. I'm not sensitive. No, I genuinely think I have the loosest teeth in the world and they'd fall out easy. And I also found out that if you have a dream where your teeth fall out, it's because you're stressed. And I've always had dreams of my teeth falling out. It's like my number one dream. I don't dream unless it's about my teeth falling out. Really? Yeah. It's a horrible dream. Especially because I've had so many teeth fall out.
Do you know what? We should actually segue this.
Yeah.
Because, you remember a few pods ago when we were talking about dreams?
Yes.
Did we talk about this last pod?
What?
Or not?
Where your about dream was a week long?
No. Just about that I've been reading Sigmund Freud.
No, but I want to do the last one of those and then let's go.
No, that was the last one.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so... Sorry, I haven't been reading. I've been listening to an audiobook.
Thank you. Just like you guys are not reading this podcast, you're listening to this podcast. Although there is a book about this podcast.
So I've been listening to Sigmund Freud's interpretation of dreams, and you know who Sigmund Freud is, right?
I mean, I've heard the name. He's really famous. Is he a psychologist?
He's the guy. I'm pretty sure. Freud is the guy that did the Dogs and Bells thing.
Sigmund Freud.
He did he did a ton of experiments on like psychological behavior.
Would you like me to read it quick?
Yeah, give us.
So he's the Freud or Freudian thing. He's Austrian neurologist and the founder of psychoanalysis, a clinical method for evaluating and treating pathologies seen as originating from clinic conflicts of the psyche through dialogue between patients and psychoanalysts. and the distinctive theory of mind and human agency derives from it. Okay, so yeah,
so he was very like he was a very big like psychologist, but he was also like in the Victorian era, right? So a lot of kind of the stuff is a little bit outdated now that he kind of brought to light, but still a lot of his kind of researches are used in that type of shizzle. So I've been reading, listening to his audiobook interpretation of dreams, and it's really interesting what it says, but I'm only a little bit of the way through it right now. I think like probably maybe a third of the way through it. And it's really interesting, but at the same time, I just don't feel like the stuff that he's talking about is applicable to me. Because in his theory, everything you dream can be related to something you've like directly experienced. Like, if you're in a place, you must have like been to that place or seen like a picture of that place or like something
to, yeah, it's not just made up, basically.
Yeah, 100%. But or you see like someone's face that like you may have seen in passing or something like that, where it's like when you dream, the memories that you don't have space for in your waking mind can come back. Do you know what I mean? Like, so everything that you ever have experienced is banked in your memory, but in your waking hours, you only have so much that you can bring to the forefront. And then when you sleep, it like the kind of irrelevant stuff like comes out and happens. But for me, I don't get those type of dreams. Like, I don't get those type of dreams where it's like, this could signify this, or this could signify this. Like, literally, I had this really fucking random ass dream last night where I was with my best friend Neve. My best friend's also called Neve. That can be kind of confusing. But I was with her at her boyfriend's dad's house. And I've never met her boyfriend's dad.
Okay.
And her boyfriend also doesn't live with her dad. They live together in their own house. But I've only met her boyfriend once. Kieran. He's lovely. Love him. But, so...
Shout out to Kieran.
We were at her boyfriend's dad's place. And we were having, like, some sort of slumber party or something. And, like, all I can remember from this is that her boyfriend's dad would not let us order McDonald's.
What a dick.
And it was really late at night. It was like
Kieran,
midnight.
your
and
dad's
like,
fucked up.
He's like, you're not ordering like McDonald's, and he got really like agitated about it. And I was like, hey, what the like fuck is this dude's problem? But like, what was that? Like, you know, what was that about?
Yeah, I think did I say it last time? I think that we're gonna like dreams might
Sorry, Derek's dying.
Dreams might be more real than we think they are.
Yeah, I like just the way I dream. I like is so bizarre. It's so bizarre to me. This was like last night that I was having this dream as well, because I was super groggy in the morning when I woke up. And it's because I'd had like another week-long dream where I'd just been like living a whole nother life for a week, and then I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck? I still don't get
the week-long dream thing. I get the idea of like how time seems longer, but I just don't get the idea of how you can perceive yourself living a week in another life, and then you wake up and you're kind of like, I can't fully remember what happened, and I was there for a week without you at some point being like, yo, I sure haven't woken up in a long time. Like, is there not something where you're aware you're there and it's been a week? Like, are you not wondering about me and Juliet because, you know, you're like, I've been like,
but
I just don't get it.
That's the thing. It's like, I'm aware in some context that like there's a reason for it. but it's either that, like, when I'm in my dream, I am fully like, unless I'm having a like crazy lucid dream and I'm like really aware that I'm dreaming at the time, I'm living an alternate version of my life.
Is life better? Like not like oh, like I have a nicer car, but like is like the world better, or is that even a thing you can perceive?
It's not even like, yeah, there's honestly, it's not even like the focus of my dreams. So like I couldn't tell you, like I remember very like sporadically like little bits of it. Like there was something to do with my mom as well. My mom was telling me something, but I can't remember what it is right now. And it was something to do with Juliet. So Juliet existed in my dream, and she was there, and I've had weird dreams like revolving around her. I've had dreams where it's me and you and her, but you're not you. Like you don't look like you.
Oh, so you're
and she doesn't look like her.
What?
So
you're with your other family.
No, but it's still me, but like things are slightly different. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like,
I actually just don't like. I've tried my best to figure it out, but I just don't get it.
It's really hard to explain.
Yeah,
honestly.
I understand it is. I'm not like, what do you mean? Like you gotta explain it better. It's just I don't get it. Like I get the idea of like when you're in a dream, it can like time changes, so you can do that. But I just don't get this idea of like it just seems like such a long time to be in another place and not be able to remember anything really. Like you're like the things you say are pretty vivid, but it's not
they're also
very
pretty vague.
But they're vague considering you were there for a week supposedly, right? But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know about consciousness right now. I really don't. One thing that I thought was really crazy, I was listening to this guy talk, and he was talking about time, and we perceive time as something that we're going forward into, but maybe time's more like a river that's like passing over us, like it's like blowing by us. And I don't know, I just feel like with that thought in mind, things like dreams might make more sense, because maybe it's like you're like a receiver, and therefore you can like receive stuff as you go, like time comes to you as opposed to you going through to time. And it's like the same thing. Like, what does it mean for you? Well, it doesn't really mean a difference in anything, because you're just still living you in this time, but it does make more sense to me, at least, as to why, for example, when you fall asleep, you dream, and it's like things, because like things keep happening towards you as opposed to you having to like go towards it to experience it. It comes to you. But even that's just a weird abstract thought. But I don't know. I'm just very skeptical of what consciousness is and how it works. And like, even though, like, remember we watched that thing about the orangutans? Yeah. And you watch that, and it's so weird, because you're like, well, they're clearly conscious.
No, it's so conscious. Like, yeah.
It's like, what's that all about?
Yeah.
And then like Nuo's conscious. Yeah. Like, I can tell you the amount of times me and Nuo have done stuff where I've just been like, there's no way this dog is just like, we like ball and food, as much as she literally does that. But it's not that low key. No,
and I find as well, there's like certain situations when I look at Nuo and I can like understand what she needs in that moment. And the same with Juliet. Like, she can't really communicate with us very well at the moment, but there are times that I'm just like, I know what you need right now.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's not an indication, like, anything that they're doing, like, I think intentionally to make me think that, but it's just like the thought, you know? I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to read this book about MK Ultra and mind control stuff, because I think it'll lead me down some rabbit holes to do some research into telepathy and stuff. I strongly believe in telepathy, and I think I've got some form of it. But again, I don't think telepathy is this like mental thing of like you and me look eye to eye with our mouths closed and be like, hello, how are you doing? I think telepathy is more of a like a very like innate like ability to feel and interact with
and
things, perceive
yeah.
via like that feeling, as opposed to like that's how dogs seem to work a lot of, is
Yeah.
like they're very good at picking up the emotions and the like tension of the
It's
room.
very true.
So, and it's just I really think that telepathy has been bastardized by Hollywood. No
Yeah.
disrespect, they're just doing their thing, but because of that, everyone has this like, oh, so you think you can either like levitate or speak to people's into their brain, and it's like, well, no, maybe that's a thing, and maybe that's telepathy, and I'm talking about something else. But I believe it to be is that kind of.
I feel like telepathy is more a kind of perception of energy signals. Would that be a good way to describe what you're kind of giving off?
I wouldn't even, I like, yes, I think that would be a good like thought of it.
Yeah.
And I believe in energy fields, so I think that's like for sure a very like good thought. But I don't even know if it's that, because that, for that to have worked, you have to like, your energy, your magnetic field only comes like an inch or so, or 2 inches, 3 inches off your, or what's this? Yeah, like, I don't know, like 2 hands length off your body,
your
max.
okay.
Max.
Would you say it could be maybe more like a kind of sixth sense?
Well, that's what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Or even like things like
And it kind of, ooh, here's an idea.
Yeah.
Maybe it's kind of like a sixth sense, and it manifests in people differently. Like, for example, like the telepathy that manifests between like mother and child in those first kind of like few months after they're born. You're very like aware of their needs, even though they have no way of communicating with you. And then you get people that are like mediums, and people that are like psychics, or like have kind of like, you know, people that maybe deja vu is a kind of like version of that as well.
Yeah,
I
mean,
don't know, like,
no,
that's just a theory, but
yeah, no, I mean, like, yes, like that's all just kind of like what I think, like, yeah, that's just spot on. And it's like, like, it just seems to me like the one that really put me onto it was your post pregnancy with the baby, and I just couldn't get. I've told it on this show before, like, where you were in the other room and the baby would wake up, and then you'd wake up, or I'd hear you wake up, and I'd look over and the baby, like a minute or two. It wasn't instant, but within a minute or two, the baby would somehow have been like, I am now awake too. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's really weird that I strongly believe that where we've gone with science in the world, I'm pro science, just for the record. I just think that science has got to this point where it's become a little ignorant to the idea, like it's got it.
There's stuff you can't see going on.
Not every science is 100% empirical data. There has to be a number and a thing for it, and if it's not that way, then it can't be. But constantly things get proven wrong. You can't always record everything, and even the science itself, what is believed to be true, consistently changes. The earth was flat until the earth was round. The earth everything revolved around the earth until it was around the sun, until it was galaxies. So it's kind of this thing of like, it's not that science is wrong, it's just, it's not this absolute that's always right. And so but I do strongly feel in this case, you can even expand it outward of science now. I just think as a globally whole, we are very naive and think we know everything. And it's like, we're at this point where it's like, well, no, we know, and if we can't figure out, it's not a thing because we can't, and it's just naive.
Necessarily true, No, I fully go for that.
Okay, let's move on to this P. Diddy stuff, because I want to talk about this. Okay, so P. Diddy officially is in jail. Now, do you know what happened at all?
I heard it was like, you know, the usual kind of like assault like charges and
okay, like that's not wrong, but it was more like he he basically had like I'm just trying to find where the exact charges were because they're like really bad charges. Let's see. He's been arrested and charged with racketeering conspiracy. Racketeering is like your like prostitutions, your like money, like basically racketeering is just doing a whole bunch of illegal activities.
Okay.
Sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion, and transporting and engaging in prostitution. And what he would do is he'd have these parties. They were sex parties. They were called, what were they called? Bizarre or freak off parties, where he would have all these people show up and he'd give them tons of drugs, and then he'd force them to like for days have sex with people, like all of them, the men, the women, everyone. And then what ended up happening is this one woman, there's a video that came out of his ex-girlfriend, and he like literally beats the shit over and drags her down the hallway by the hair. It's not worth watching. It's pretty gnarly. You just take my word for it. It's gross as you don't want to see it. And so that's what like set off everything because she spoke out about it, and then all these other women started coming out. Okay.
Right.
So irregardless of what happens, like what I'm about to say, P. Diddy is a greasy bastard, period, right? Like there's no like, no part of this has to do with like exonerating P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Also, when these sex parties, so they've confiscated 1,000 bottles of baby oil and other lubes that he would like stock up at these parties. So just think of how much
there's just an evidence locker sitting somewhere with 1,000
bottles of baby oil. All I was just thinking is like 1,000 bottles. So that must be you walked into a room that was like a full big ass room.
That's just the lube room, babe. The lube cellar. Yeah. Instead of having a wine cellar, he has a lube cellar.
I bet you has both.
And they're right next to each other.
Okay, so that was a really weird part about it. So other things now that you know, and like the underage sex trafficking, like all this stuff. Do you remember Justin Bieber had a picture with P. Diddy when he was 15?
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of those things that, again, like there's all these things coming up.
There's been big conspiracies about Justin Bieber and wanting to out this whole like music industry sex trafficking for a hot minute.
Really?
When he released Yummy, I think the song was called.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you get that yummy, yummy, yummy. You know the song, yeah. That was like the video to that. There was a big conspiracy around that about he was talking about like that was kind of what selling your soul when you went to Hollywood was you had to be involved in like this really like fucked up kind of like underground prostitution, sex trafficking, like that kind of underworld.
Look at this.
The Hollywood underworld.
That's the picture. Look at how fucking crazy that is now. You know, he was 15 at the time. This is just for everyone watching. This is when Bieber had his little swish hair and his hat and the purple, and he was like, what was he really famous for at the start? He was like, baby, 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 ooh. That's, you know what? That would actually make a lot of sense. That would make, look at this. This is Biebs at one of P. Diddy's parties, because Justin's so clearly fucked. And I don't mean that in a way like, yo, fuck this dude. Like, you can tell he's like a tormented soul.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is before we get into the P. Diddy part of this conspiracy, just from hearing what you've said, there is genuinely, I think, like elite groups of people that are Satanists. Like, they actually, like, worship Satan and do, like, all these, like, weird rituals and sex parties. And I think just hearing what you said there just made that all ring off in my head. So many things that I've heard. And, like, anyone that's listening to this rolling their eyes about anything to do with, like just that, a Satanist sex ring and all the elites and stuff. We have now had Hollywood is full of sex and sex trafficking. Epstein. And then we've had, that was Harvey Weinstein.
There was Weinstein and Epstein.
Then Jeff Epstein was the pedophile.
Who had the island.
The island with all the elites would go to. Have you ever heard of, God, what's the name of it now? The place where the owl is. It's like a...
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know what it is because there's a parody of it on Bob's Burgers.
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
Bohemian Grove. And anyone that doesn't know what that is, there's a place in the Redwoods of California that all the richest people go, and they dress up in weird masks and burn stuff in front of an oil, do drugs and stuff. You can just Bohemian Grove, go look it up. It's all real. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Like, this stuff just keeps happening more and more and more and more and more. And it's just baffling to me how people keep rolling their eyes when you talk about conspiracies. But if you even look for a second, like, look it up there. My book I have, it's a 500-page book of all the conspiracies of the 60s the CIA did with Charles Manson, LSD, and all that. So it's like, at this point, I'm just I actually roll my eyes at people that not every conspiracy is true, but if you hear conspiracy and you don't listen to what the person's saying, I think a lot of the time you're just willfully not listening to actual information. Yeah. Okay, so here is the conspiracy with P. Diddy. Okay. I'm listening. So obviously this has been going on for a very long time, what P. Diddy's been doing. And like you said, there's been all these talks of like all these things, but nothing came out at all. This girl, this video is brutal. Yeah. And it just, nothing like this came out. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this one video drops from this chick and all this information starts coming forward. Now, P. Diddy won $1 billion lawsuit against Ciroc. Not Ciroc, the brand or the liquor. It was the company that owns Ciroc. So it's a liquor distributor. Right. So Ciroc was one of their companies. Okay. And as soon as he won that lawsuit, within 2 weeks, everything started happening. All the allegations started coming. Like, this chick comes out and then all these other chicks. And then basically all these dominoes start falling into place of all this stuff. Like, the thing you have to understand is, since this first video came out, basically just a flood of information's come out, like, really incriminating P. Diddy. Yeah. And so what the conspiracy behind it all is P. Diddy didn't get outed because this chick outed him. P. Diddy got outed because whoever owed him $1 billion and won was finally like, all right, if you're gonna like do this to us, then we are gonna out you. And so they were saying that Ciroc was with him, and like they all knew all these like major people right up until he took the $1 billion by suing them.
Yeah, if you own a company like Ciroc that all of these celebrities are probably buying in bulk, and then someone fucks you over for that much money, like...
And I'm pretty sure P. Diddy was the guy that made Ciroc, like, put its name. Oh, really? So, yeah, I think so. So I think that's kind of part of the issue, was P. Diddy was like, I got us here, blah, blah, blah. And then Ciroc was, like, bidding there, like, dude, actually, dude, you're, like, a sex trafficking, racketeering motherfucker. You're now going to take $1 billion from us? Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like, honestly, it's those people's world, and we're just living in it. Yeah. Like, you know?
Absolutely.
They can pull out all these moves, and, like, I hate to say it, but I think if you have enough money, you are above the law.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. I think the secret, like, truly, if you made it, is you have so much money that you can do whatever you want. Yeah. So, and it doesn't matter how you make your money.
And like, I mean, like, I'm not, like, shitting on people for accepting this, but, like, if you're P. Diddy and a cop gets called on you and you offer, like, everybody in the police department, like, $100,000 to keep quiet, like, would you not take that?
100%. I don't even think you need to give them $100K.
I think it really depends on the situation, because I think for me, there's some stuff that I couldn't turn a blind eye to.
I think the first one was right.
Like, when it's stuff that involves, like physical violence towards, like, women, children, that kind of stuff, I don't think I'd be able to turn a blind eye. But again, you don't know until you're in that situation, right? And, like, when someone's desperate and you, like, someone's just like, I'll give you this money to not say anything. Like, you don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took, well, like, this is an interesting thing about Pablo Escobar and why he was so successful in the drug trade all through South America.
Yeah.
Was because literally like, how dirt poor everyone in South America is, but, like, back then, like, literally everyone was dirt poors, right?
Yeah.
And you go through some little town where there's, like, some policia and the guy's a guard for that area, and you pull up to his bridge that he has, the little toll bridge, and he goes like this, no, you can't pass, show your stuff, and you're drug smuggling, here's $5,000, and that dude instantly is like, yeah, okay, because that's so much money to him. So it's the same thing. Like, I don't even know how little money you'd have to give for me to turn a blind eye.
To turn a blind eye at something like drug smuggling, I'd be like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I do agree with you, though. Like, I don't know how I probably wouldn't handle anything to do with children or abuse of women at all.
Yeah, like, or like anything that kind of involves like sexual violence, or like violence towards women. If it's two like dudes beefing it out, I'm like, yeah, go for it. Like, do your thing.
Yeah, or even things like drugs. Like, I genuinely don't really. I'm not someone that hates the cartels and the drug gangs, because people are gonna do drugs. If you got rid of the cartels and all that stuff, there would just be someone to replace them.
Yeah.
And then if you made all drugs legal, everyone would have no problem with them because the government makes the money. So to me, it's a little asinine to be like, oh, the drug dealers are killing people. I'm like, no, like, honestly, if we're gonna go that route of like them doing that, there's so many things that
stuff like,
government officials do that are worse.
How many fucking government officials have been done for tax evasion?
Yeah, or how many governments have been peddling drugs to? The CIA was giving Charles Manson LSD to give to people. Like, the government is a drug dealer. I was talking to someone today. I genuinely think the government is just a giant drug dealing corporation.
Well, I mean, especially in the U.S., yeah.
But it's just.
I don't know if I. No, I don't think I believe that.
No, you don't believe that? I do. I think, like, what's the difference between a corporation and the government in terms of the government, you have to pay their taxes and everything. They're a faceless thing, so you can't really, like, get mad at them. And a lot of the reason they're able to do what they do is because, like, obviously they're the government, but they're this faceless thing. So everything they do is, like, hidden behind bureaucracy. You can never, like, point at someone. Like, I guess you go like, fuck you, Justin Trudeau, but we all know Justin Trudeau is like, he doesn't literally run the entire country. He's just kind of the face of what the country does, right? And then the drugs and everything coming in, I just strongly don't believe the government is too worried about drugs as much as they are, like, they're worried about, like,
how nice their house is.
Yeah. Like, I just don't. I don't get the sense that the government truly cares about drugs coming into the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you disagree. That's fine. I think that the difference between a corporation and the government isn't a corporation because it's the government. But like, if you were to just say what the government does, what a corporation does, I think you'd realize they're pretty similar in how they
run. Yeah. No, I think that's fair to say.
Okay, so now that I'm looking into this more, Justin Bieber is so disturbed by Diddy news. Then there's people saying that Bieber was groomed by Diddy. Justin Bieber's 48 hours with P. Diddy. He locked himself in his house after hearing all the allegations. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
yeah, like there's been, this isn't like the first time that like there's been conspiracy about Justin Bieber, like talking about, or not even talking about, but like there's been a conspiracy around Justin Bieber wanting to out the dark side of like, I guess,
music or Hollywood.
Yeah, the music industry.
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
I've heard that
people
for a
are
few
just
years now.
fucking whack. I honestly think that at a certain point, if you become P. Diddy, or that powerful, I think you just kind of, I don't even think you're like, don't know, attracted to children, or you're it's like a power thing.
It's like, what can I get
away
with?
Exactly. It's like they're not sitting there like, oh, children, or oh, this or that. It's like, I'm so powerful, watch what I can do.
Yeah.
And then you inevitably do these heinous things, and I don't doubt that, like, in the moment they're like pleasured themselves or whatever, but it's like the overall underlying thing of it is, power. Look what I can do. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think power is more valuable than money.
I'd argue money is power.
Well, money, yeah.
There's
money is power.
Same. Yeah.
But if, for example, P. Diddy were to have, like, somehow, like, lost all of his funds, he could live off credit forever because he's P. Diddy. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he could have.
Yeah. Not now,
Not
bitch.
Now. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting world we're in right now. It really is. Yeah. The one thing I can't get over with my job is how my clientele is the most, well, I shouldn't say the most, but such a diverse group of people. Like, you just get all these things, and every single person just is like, yeah, like, I'm poor and can't do anything because, like, everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
And like, this one guy was telling me today, he's like, yeah, so I was looking at apartments for $800,000, and it was a 1-bedroom. It's just like, what? That's
so wild.
Fucked up.
Sometimes Derek knows I like to do this. I'm a big fan of, like, just looking at listings. Not that we'd, like, ever be able to get a house here, but, like, I will just, like, look at, like, listings around, and not even just here. Like, I'll look at them in, like, the most random of places just to see what you can get where. And I've looked at, like, penthouses that you can get here. And, excuse me, sorry. Penthouses. A penthouse. There's penthouses for, like, 9 to 12 million. And I'm like, what? It's not even, like, you own a penthouse, but, like, you don't have... I just don't understand how you would spend 9 to 12 million on a penthouse. Do you know what I mean? Like, cool, it could be, like, fancy as fuck, and it could be, like, crazy cool, but you're still in an apartment building.
Well,
like,
it's so dumb.
To me, that just doesn't make sense.
It's so dumb because no one's buying a $12 million penthouse as their only house. Like, it's so dumb. You know what? If for some reason you saved up $12 million and bought a penthouse and that's your only home, I'd be like, it's bizarre, but, like, okay.
Yeah.
But it's just, anyone that can afford that also has 3 other houses in on 2 different continents, and, like, there's just so much to it that it's just so absurd.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so dumb, and I don't know. I genuinely just hope someone comes in and just says to all these rich people, like, yeah, no more houses. We're taking your money. We don't really care. Like, let's go up to Bezos and Elon Musk and just start taking their money. I heard a thing that said Elon Musk, this was like 6 months ago, so it's probably even crazier now. Elon Musk, if he gave all of his money away minus $1 billion, he could give every single person in America $40,000.
That's crazy.
That's so crazy, isn't it? So crazy. There's like they're close to 400 million people there.
Yeah.
And even that, in like what we had just said, like 100K, like, I think if you gave 400 million $40,000, vast majority of them, it'd be like winning the lottery. They'd be like, yo, I just won the lottery. And then the whole time, Elon would still have $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like, how stupid is that? Like, the
wealth distribution in the world now is just wild.
I honestly think that we should start calling out rich people as a society. Like, when Jeff Bezos...
What, like, this is a new idea? Like, people haven't been doing this for forever?
Well, no, but like... The
people in France literally cut off their king's head for the same reason.
Yeah, but I don't want to cut off Elon and Jeff Bezos. I'm actually not going to lie. I really didn't like Jeff Bezos for a long time until he got jacked. And now I'm a fan. Wasn't
there meant to be like a throwdown between
Oh no, okay. It was
or is that
Zuckerberg and
Elon Musk, yeah.
And Elon made a comment on Joe Rogan's podcast about he would fight Mark Zuckerberg, but it was like a joking thing.
Yeah.
And then it obviously like picked up.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, Elon would get his ass kicked.
Oh yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg is like a full-on jiu-jitsu freak now.
Yeah.
And all he does is work. Like if you look at Zuck, he like I wouldn't mess with Zuck, and that's on the jiu-jitsu side / how fit he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then Elon just is like, well, I'm 6'6", I'm a pretty big guy, I just sit on him.
The classic.
And Joe was like, yeah, but like Mark Zuckerberg like changed jiu-jitsu every day. He would literally murder you. And then Elon's like, oh, well, I don't know, leverage and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, man, this is always what happens. Big dudes think they're tough because they can sit on
big.
you. Yeah. And you're like, just no.
That's all you have, dude. Is just more height.
Yeah.
You can see a bit further.
Yeah.
On another note, Derek stabbed me this week.
Okay, let's put it this way. Neve made me angry, so I stabbed her.
He's taking after his best friend, Stabby Brendan.
Stabby, I hope you're doing okay in prison. Okay, well, can I at least describe what happened a bit better?
You want to go into detail about the stabbing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Neve was kind enough to make a charcuterie board.
And I was like, fuck this bitch.
And so I was like, I'm sick and tired of you and your charcuterie boards. No, okay, so we have charcuterie knives. And they're like...
Yeah, like the cheese knives.
They're the cheese knives, but they're all so different.
Yeah.
And one of them is literally like a mini butcher knife.
Yeah, it's
like
a mini
big
meat
cleaver. Yeah. And so it's in the cheese.
And that's the one that Derek just
and I go to pick it up, and it just like... it was a long
I didn't know.
day.
It just, like,
no,
slipped
but
out your
I
hand
think
or
I was
something
working
stupid.
until late or something, wasn't I? What was it, Tuesday?
Yeah, I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, it was on Tuesday.
You'd come back from soccer Monday. It would have been Monday. You come back from soccer and we want a little snacky snack.
Right. Yeah, it was Monday. Yeah, and so I think it was just because I hadn't eaten much and we had been going hard at soccer, so I was like a little like shaky or something, and so I picked up the cleaver, but
just threw it.
But like, I'm sorry, cheese cleavers aren't a thing, and I fumbled it, and it literally dropped like perfectly into Neve's nail bed and cut into her fingernail.
Yeah, like
into the finger bed.
So it's cut through the nail and under the nail. So I have like a cut in my nail, and then on the finger, it like the point hit directly.
Yeah, like it landed on like the square corner. I actually, when I saw it happen, I thought that I didn't think your finger got cut off.
Yeah.
But I thought it actually like it. So just so people can imagine, it's like the pointed corner went into her fingernail and finger bed. It wasn't like the thing like cleaved, but I actually thought that I thought it got like enough so there'd be like a quarter that it went like through a quarter of your finger kind of thing. And that's why I was like, oh, and then you were like. And at first you were like, I could tell you were like waiting to see. Yeah. And then I was like, oh no. And then like, luckily it wasn't as bad. Yeah. It's still bad, but it wasn't like.
Luckily I'd also have, I think I had like 3 glasses of wine while you were at soccer.
Yeah. Oh,
so like,
so
I didn't really feel it. Shut the front door. So I didn't really like feel it that much. I just started like laughing. I think if I hadn't have had those 3 glasses of wine before, then it would have hurt a lot more.
Yeah, that was not fun.
Sorry, it was not fun for you.
Well,
not fun for me.
It happened to you, but I saw it live.
Oh, so you got the trauma.
Did you feel it hit your finger? Did you see it go in?
Like I know I felt it because I thought it cut up like vertically along like and landed like directly in like the bit in between like the cuticle area. Yeah. But it didn't. It went the other way. It went like horizontally.
Yeah, I watched it go in. Oh. And that's really hard on me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
So sorry.
It's fine.
Trauma.
I get to go to therapy and I'll figure it out. I have a booking session.
Do you know what the ironic thing is, though? Is as I was making the charcuterie board, and this is probably because of the 3 glasses of wine, I stabbed myself with a steak knife trying to open the cheese.
You were showing that off, too.
And I said to Derek, I was like, oh, fuck, look, I've just stabbed myself with a steak knife on the finger next to the one he stabbed. So I think he was just kind of trying to one-up me. It was like, oh, you want to stab yourself with a steak knife? Here, I'll cleave your finger.
I mean, I'm not going to incriminate myself on a podcast we put on the internet. But if you did some background searching and poking around, I'm sure that's not too far off the truth. Let me see here. Okay, we should go into the buy and sells of the week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I either didn't write my buy and sell down or I just didn't do them.
Last week?
Yeah.
I can't, like, you're asking the wrong person. My memory is shot to bits.
Okay, so your buy and sell were Juliet's daycare.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember yours.
I don't think I did them because they were. I was probably telling like a really good story that was something captivating that all the audience was like, "Oh, this is so good! I want to keep listening," and therefore I didn't want to take them out of the story to talk about my buy and sell.
Okay.
But I think everyone listening is like, "Oh yeah, that story was great." So
sure.
You're welcome, everyone. And
let's go with that.
Let's go with that. Okay, my buy of the week. Gosh, I don't know.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, my buy of the week was amidst this sickness that Juliet and I have had. She has been sleeping. She was in bed with us 2 nights this week.
Yeah.
So she slept in bed with us 2 nights this week when the sickness was at its peak. And on the first morning, and it was actually really cute because her and Derek were like cuddling all night, and every time I kind of woke up, I'd look over and they were just cuddling. I was like, oh, it's so cute. And whenever that happens, Derek always wakes up before me because she's closest to him, and she'll like hit him on the face, and I just kind of like heard the commotion going on. And I open my eyes and it's still dark, and I just see this silhouette of Juliet set up so straight, and she waves at me and she goes, "Hi."
That was super cute.
That was the cutest thing ever.
Cute. That was freaking cute.
Yeah,
as hell,
it was so freaking cute. And honestly, that just like, what a great way to start your morning.
It is. That, I must say, every morning I wake up and see her is a cute way to start the morning.
Yeah, but like that's the first time she's like actually kind of like done that without prompt or anything. Like if I wave at her and I go hi, then she'll do it back.
Yes, but she's learned
she just
what it means.
she just sat up and I like kind of open my eyes and she's just like, "Hi." And I was like, "Oh, hi."
Yeah, okay. I always think that's so funny. So like when you have a baby in your bed, you don't fully fall asleep. You like kind of like know they're there always. Like you'll obviously fall asleep, but you're not like
telepathy.
Yeah, it's that weird telepathy thing. So what happened 2 days ago, I think it was, I woke up for work and Juliet was in the bed with us and I knew about it. But then when I woke up, I couldn't see her because I guess she was cuddling with you, but she was like under the covers a bit more or something. Yeah. So when I looked over, I couldn't see her. So then I go have my morning shower, and our shower's like next, like you go in the bathroom, it's an ensuite in our bedroom, right? So I'm in there and I'm having my shower with the lights on. And I think Juliet's back in her crib. And then when I come out, she's just like sitting there staring at me. Roberta's like, "Oh, Juliet, what are you doing here?" That was cute. Okay, well, my buy of the week is going to be, I got for the last 2 soccer games. Yeah. I mean, I'm the only guy on the team to score this year, so it makes it a bit easier. But I got the 3-star selection 2 games in a row.
Hell yeah.
And I've never even got a 1-star selection for our team. So
really?
to get 2 in a row.
That's dope.
1st star 2 weeks in a row.
They should call you Derek Kicking Legs.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, our selection process is so tainted because there's always Matt Whittle, Alec, Jamie, Cam, and Michael, and Jacob now. They always get the top votes, and I don't want to. They're good. They like it makes sense. They do, but like if they don't do anything crazy,
they're just like
they'll still get votes. So like for example, I personally don't think I played very well. Like when I say I don't play very well, I don't think I played well enough to be the best star of the team. But because I scored the goal, everyone's just like, Derek got the goal. He played really well. Where I've played really good games, but I've not got a goal, and everyone won't, no one will vote for you. And then I felt like that with sometimes happens where like I personally, if like, for example, like, again, I don't want to, those guys that I mentioned, like they do really well. It's just kind of like, for me, especially since we're just a fun club.
Yeah.
You can't just pick Cam, Michael, Jamie, Alec, and Matt because they're doing their job well and they make us win. But the point of it is like to disperse it. So like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna give my points today to Julian. Why? Well, because Julian busted his ass and made some good tackles, and maybe Julian doesn't make like the best tackles every game. So that's like how it's supposed to be. So that's what I mean by it's tainted. It's just like sometimes you're like Alec will be the first to admit it. Sometimes it'll be like Alec got 2-star votes from every person, and he made like 2 saves where it was crossed in and he just caught it, but everyone just gives them the stars. So it was pretty cool to get those 2 stars.
Nice. Okay, and what's your sell?
My sell of the week? Oh gosh, you know what? I'm just gonna go with just a casual one, and it's I just think we've touched on a ton. I just think that the amount of money in the world's fucked up, and it's just like I guess we could say wealth inequality, but I just, not even on that level. I just think it's fucked up how expensive everything is now, even outside of housing and stuff. Like you go to the grocery store. What did I get today? I got 4 bottled waters that were on sale, 5 for $4 or 4 for $5. I got a bag of cheese. What else did I get?
Cheese. So on that note, I'm just saying shredded cheese is a scam.
What?
It's a scam. Shredded cheese is a scam.
Why?
We had a block of cheddar that I self-shredded, and there was so much more cheese. And we have an electric shredder that your mom gave us like last Christmas to make latkes. So we need to buy block cheese. It's so much cheaper, absolutely. And I will happily shred it.
Okay, and my sell of the week is gonna be shredded cheese now.
I changed my mind.
Mine went from this broad thing of wealth inequality to shredded cheese.
Shredded cheese is a scam.
If we're gonna fix the world, it's gonna be starting with shredded cheese.
It was on my list of topics to talk about today for the podcast. Pre-shredded cheese is a scam.
Okay, well, why didn't you bring that up sooner? Because
it worked out perfectly.
I'm pissed now.
Pissed about
how am I supposed to go to bed? It's 11:30, and you bring that up.
Sorry.
Okay, well, here's my thing with pre-shredded cheeses. You know how I only like that very specific shredded cheeses.
I do know that.
And they're not the I'm which one is it? Kraft cheese? Do not eat Kraft cheese. The reason I say don't eat Kraft cheese, so when you eat like the cheese I don't even know the brand of it. It's just like
it's Compliments.
It's Compliments.
Safeway's own.
So Safeway's own. So when you look at the cheese, if you were to take a block of just orange Canadian cheddar, like the normal Canadian one, that you don't like.
Yeah, I don't like it.
But that's my favorite cheese. It's the exact same cheese. The difference between the block of cheese and the shredded is just it's shredded, right?
Yeah.
But when you look at any of the Kraft cheeses, they have like Tex-Mex flavor, habanero, all those. I look at that cheese and I genuinely think it's plastic. Like, when it melts, it doesn't melt like cheese. It melts like plastic. Like it's not good cheese.
Do you like Kraft dinner?
Yes. But I'm not under the impression that Kraft Dinner is cheese. Like anyone that's eating Kraft Dinner and all of a sudden right now your mind's being blown by the idea that the glowing orange isn't cheese.
But that's what all Canadian cheddar looks like. That's why I don't like the orange cheese, because that's not the natural color of cheese.
Neve, don't say that about Canadian cheddar. That is the normal color of cheese. I'm going to ask why. Hey, computer, why is Canadian cheese orange?
They'll tell you because it's not real cheese. It's just...
Because cheesemakers add orange coloring during the cheese making process. It's the result of 100 years of tradition dating back to the time of cheddar cheese in England was made with milk from cows whose beta-carotene rich diet produced the orange tint in the milk. Boom. That's why cheddar's orange.
Yeah, but cheddar is not orange.
Cheddar is stupid.
Cool. So my sell of the week is being like having to parent while being sick, because you don't get to just like, when you're sick normally you don't just get to like be sick, you also have to like be a parent.
Yeah, that's just basically like the hardest part of parenting is you just don't ever get a day off from doing it.
Yeah, well, it's a 24/7 job. Which I don't mind, because I wouldn't trade it for anything. But at the same time, it would be cool to just like be sick and be able to just like sleep all day. One
of my clients has a 3-year-old, or his daughter's, how old is she now? I can't remember, but he said by the time she was 3 years old, she would wake up in the morning, make her own breakfast of like some like
get a yogurt, and
like a yogurt and some whatever. Not like cooking, but like make her own little breakfast. Turns on the TV, watches a bit of her show, and then gets ready for the day. Well, obviously she's 3, so it's not like she's like doing crazy stuff, but like, and he's like, and we just sleep until we wake up, and then we wake up and she's just there, and I was just like, oh, I can't wait for that day. It'll be so nice when he'll be like, she can be up.
I used to do that when I was a kid, though. I remember like I remember I would wake up and I would go downstairs and I'd grab some like toast or something. And I don't, obviously I was older than like that, but I would just go down, grab some toast, and just sit and watch like early hours MTV. So it was like super inappropriate for what age I was. But then I remembered like my dad would come downstairs and like go out and go to work and stuff, and I'd just be chilling. Yeah,
I remember I'd always wake up and I'd go downstairs, and when I was really young I'd just play with toys. But then when I was a bit older, I would watch like their early morning YTV stuff, and my dad would always be up in the bathroom, and then he'd go to work, and then everyone would wake up.
I feel like as well, when we transition her like out of a crib into a bed, then because she's really good at playing by herself too. Yeah. So like she can just get up and see what toys are in her room and do her thing. And
I mean we've been at it for an hour and a half now.
Oh damn, really?
Yeah, I think that's we should wrap it up there, unless there's anything else you want to talk about. You want to go back into shredded cheese?
No, I can't. I'll get too angry.
I get it. I think I'm gonna leave with this. If you want to change the world, we got to change it one step at a time, and the first is taking down the shredded cheese cabal.
I was going to say the first is shredding your own cheese.
Shredding your own cheese. So, for all those people out there that are all worried about the environment,
get shredding.
Start shredding your own cheese. Get shredding. That's step one.
Hashtag get shredding. We'll be trending this.
Hashtag get shredded. Bye.
Bye.